Everybody, video update from the Barzals. There's Lydia. Say hi, Lydia. Hi. Say hi, Chelsea.
Hi.
All right. So I just wanted to hop on here. We had small group last night, and for those of you that could make it, so glad that you're able to be here. For those of you that weren't able to be there, then this video is specifically for you. I just want to go over a few of the things that we talked about because it's going to be really foundational moving forward. And the best way to do that is a video, because I don't actually have a lot of the time or energy or willpower to write all of it out. And you know, it's just good to have and good to be able to listen to. So Lydia may interrupt us. That's okay. We're just going to roll with it. The first thing that we talked about when we had small group last night is about understanding the Bible. Like, what is the Bible? And you know, the Bible is the Word of God. It's actually trying to communicate a message to us, and that message has a context. Lydia thinks that she's all done. She's not all done yet. That message has a context, right, Lydia? And that context is actually really, really important to understand, because if people don't have the same context, it's really, really hard to communicate. We use the example of a sentence, and that sentence is, imagine the sentence as follows. The president got on the television yesterday and gave an address about COVID, social distancing, and mask mandates, right? You in 2018 would have a hard time understanding that sentence. You know what president is, you would know what a television is, but social distancing, mask mandates, COVID, you'd have a hard time, right? You would need someone to explain to you, or you'd need to live through the events that happened. Now that same sentence, imagine trying to explain to an ancient Israelite, right? You're gonna run into some really big issues. The first one being the language barrier, and the second one, trying to get someone to understand what a TV is. I don't even know how you do that. It's a little box with colors and lights, and you learn about things? I don't know. Again, the president of the United States isn't a country. They don't even have the same idea of what a country, nation is. It's a little bit different. Anyway, you just got some problems you have to work through. Well, the same thing is happening with the Bible, believe it or not. Although it appears to us in English, they have a whole set of associations and things that the words mean. She's not all done. Now, what we're going to do, what we did on last night, on Wednesday, is we went through Genesis 1, and we just tried to read in a way that maybe we can understand what they're trying to say, right? Because we like to import a lot of stuff onto Genesis 1 that may or may not be the questions that they're trying to answer. So we went through some of the overall structure, right? So behind me, I have a chart that goes through the days 1 through 7, and the goal was to show how Genesis 1 is a complete and cohesive unit that's actually trying to answer some questions. Okay, so I'm going to follow this chart real quick. You can make it on your own if you'd like to. Behind me, we're going to start way up at the top here. In the beginning, right? That's just the first verse of Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, that's a really, really important introduction. I believe that's an introductory remark. Some people don't agree with me, but that's okay. The next verse tells us something about the earth, right? It tells us that the earth was without form and it was void, and that darkness was over the face of the deep. Now, here, an ancient Israelite definitely would see a problem, right? In their mind, water, darkness, these are all realms of chaos and death and destruction. And so what God is going to do in the next 6 days is going to systematically address the formless and the void problem, okay? So days 1 through 3 are going to address the formless. Days 4 through 6 are going to address the void. Day 1, right? God says, let there be light. And he separates the light from the dark, the day from the night, and he creates form, right? This separation is an act of creation, creating form. Similarly, on day 2, He separates the waters above from the waters below. He's creating two realms that later he's going to fill. Similarly, day 3, let me see if I can get that in there. Day 3, he creates dry land out of the waters, right? And he fills it with vegetation. So we have our form question answered. God has created form in the world, right? This is really good. Now, similarly, we have the void question. It was formless and void. So he creates lights on day 4, which actually correspond really, really well to the creation of night and day, light and dark, right? The greater light to rule over the day, the lesser light to rule over the night. Really, really helpful, and it actually corresponds perfectly. Similarly, day 5, you got the birds and the fish, and the birds are flying in the waters above, and the fish swim in the waters below, right? He just filled the realm of day 2 with the creatures on day 5. And then similarly, on day 6, he creates livestock, and he fills the dry ground with the livestock and with humans who are going to rule over the dry ground. Now, this is a really, really great, let me just get it in there. Yeah. This is a really, really important way of thinking about the world. This is how the ancient Israelites thought about the world. And here we get to see that that Genesis 1 is not just giving us, yeah, we have a baby right here. She got down from her chair. The baby. God is God is not just giving us an easy, simple. Bye-bye. God is not just giving us just some information. He's actually given us a beautiful design to explain the creation of the world. But the design is not the way we would talk about it. It's the way that the ancient Israelites talked about it, right? Similar creation stories from other cultures also have waters that must be separated, right? Creation stories from other cultures also see darkness as a threat, right? But unlike those other cultures, this account actually has God just doing things. Unopposed, right? Other cultures actually often have a battle between a god of chaos, often associated with water, and the God that wants to create things, right? But this is not so with the biblical story, right? God is unopposed. He is the sole creator. Anyway, this is what we went over. We also jumped down to Revelation 21. I would just go ahead and give that a look. We talked about how in Revelation 21, John says that the sea will be no more, right? This realm of chaos, the darkness and deep, the too much water. That's actually something that I didn't quite get to. But God addresses the darkness. God addresses the too much water with the light and the dry land, right? But when we get to Revelation 21, we actually get to see that the sea is no more. This realm of chaos has been destroyed, right? And similarly, there won't be any need for sun, moon, or stars because God himself will be the light. And we actually have a framework for that in day 1, where God was the source of light before even the sun, moon, and stars, right? And the Israelites had to grid for that. They could see God being the source of light. And so, of course, on the 7th day, God rests. And so this is what we talked about. We didn't get into a ton of theological reflection, but that's what I want to do this next week. I would go ahead, if I were you, just spend some time and think about this chart and what it says about who God is, right? Who is God in this story, right? We talked about the fact that Genesis is the first book in a collection of books that are called the Torah. And that word means law or instruction. And so we're going to take this story as instructing us about who God is. And so when we get together next week on Tuesday, we're going to talk about God's character as revealed by this story. We're going to talk about who humans are as revealed by this story and what creation is as revealed by this story. So I would go ahead, write down this chart if you would like, and just spend some time thinking about Genesis 1 and what this means. And we'll come together, we'll talk about it. And this next week will be much more discussion based. And we're going to have a really great time just reflecting on the character and nature of God, the character and nature of humans, and the character and nature of creation. I think it'll be a really powerful time. Hope to see you guys there. Lydia is not accessible immediately. She's down there. They say goodbye on behalf of, well, I'll say goodbye on behalf of them, I guess. Anyway. Hope to see you all there. If you guys have any questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out to me. I hope that this is helpful. And yeah, look forward to reflecting more on Genesis. Bye.